Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another exciting new year of podcast episodes. This is episode 255, and I am one of your hosts, Brian Bacchus.
I am another, Jamal Smith.
Hey everybody, good morning, it's Toni.
And today's the Toni Talk Show. So she is so excited to bring you all this good stuff that she's been waiting to get her hands on to give to you. So take it away, Toni.
I just, we don't have a guest on today, but I think that it's very important sometimes even to not have a guest. However, to address some of the issues that we run into, whether we are out speaking to people and find out about them, or someone texts us or calls us or sees us and has a question. So one question was brought to Jamal and he brought it to me yesterday, and it's regarding, I just wanted to address this and give some information for people that I think, is helpful. But one issue is about overgrowth in vegetation. And I feel kind of weird about this because, yes, if people's lots that their whole entire home burned down are overgrown, yes, obviously it's their responsibility to maintain that lot. But I think that I personally would not want anyone calling to report me if my lot is overgrown with vegetation. However, yes, you can do that. You can either call, good morning, Marcus, happy Tuesday. You can either call 211 or LA County Public Works for those properties, because post fire cleanup, after the debris removal, the owners are still required to keep their lots clear or looking decent or whatever. I looked up some stuff and, why report it? Obviously, some people may want to report it because overgrowth increases the, future fires in Altadena. Although with all the rain that we've gotten lately, we're really not in a bad space for fires to occur right now on overgrown lots. Secondly, it could be a public nuisance. And then a third thing that they're saying is that, if there's still like ash or dirt in that overgrowth, then it can get into the air and become a health hazard. So, Jamal, do you have those pictures I sent you yesterday that you could bring up?
Yep, hold on a sec.
So even with my back the way it has been hurting since the accident, I went, not Sunday, 2 weeks prior, to my parents' lot, because I had been up there the day before with Helene. He's doing a project for USC and wanted to, speak to me since he met me at our event on the 22nd of November, our Thanksgiving event, or our Day of Thanks event. And so he wanted to meet me at some place that was significant to me in Altadena. So I said, well, anywhere in Altadena is significant to me. That's where I'm from. That's where I grew up. And so he said, well, do you have a school? Or I said, well, my elementary school is burned down. It's just dirt. My junior high school is pretty much gone. They're saving the clock tower, but somebody vandalized that last week and I'm not happy about that. But
why?
I don't want to go over there because it's a lot of hazard. I said, we can go to my parents' lot, right? So I went up there on a Saturday and I saw him, and I was disgusted with how the lot looked because my parents had a gardener that was there consistently every week or whatever. And over the last, I don't know when they finished, maybe 5 or so years, they totally redid their backyard, put a putting green in for my dad, just everything, right? And so when I got just to the front of the lot, it looked to me just like it looked when they finished clearing the debris. And I know my parents, and that would not be acceptable. I do know the neighbor next door to my parents, Jody, had her gardener go up and clean up, her stuff. And my mom said that she asked the gardener, could he actually clean up ours too, right? Their lot too. And She said he did. But if you have those pics, Jamal, you could bring them up at any time. And if I need to just put them in WhatsApp, I could do that. Is that easier than getting them from your text?
No, it wasn't that. It was just I'm having trouble sharing.
Oh, okay.
That was all.
No problem. So, so these pics, I decided I'm going to forego church because the night before, after being up there with Helene, I was like, this is not cool. My parents, this is not acceptable for them. This doesn't represent them. So I went up at 7:15. I took black bags. I took my weed eater. No, hold on, go back.
I'm downloading them all first, and then I'll go back.
Okay, and all of this, and the before, which Jamal's going to show in a second, it was the driveway, and the front of the house was just literally horrible. So I got there 7:15 in the morning. I had my gloves on. Nobody was there, obviously, in the neighborhood. And when I got out the car, I was like, all right, let me make sure there ain't no coyotes or bears or whatever roaming around, just because all the stuff is back. So this was their driveway. It got torn up a lot from including the brick from the trucks backing up. And then they had to take that big, huge, excavator up there. But this was the driveway. And then the next one is the front. The steps, the overgrowth, you see all the nasty, just like, I was like, this is not cool. So I spent 7 hours. I got there at 7:15. I left at 2:15. Of course, my back was killing me. I bent down, and when I stood up, I heard pop, and I felt it. But then I felt good. That was like in the middle. But Jamal, you could show the others. So you saw the first picture of the driveway. This is after I was finished. And then the second picture of the front of the house, or the lot where the stairs and everything are, that was after I finished. So I cut back bushes, I raked, I weed-eated, you name it. I left with 16 bags of garbage, of yard waste that I couldn't take it all in my car with seats down and all that. I had them in the front seat, back seat. So what I did, I went with 10 around the corner, found a low dumpster that somebody who's rebuilding that had some space, tossed them in there. And then I went back and got the remainder. And when I did, now mind you, this is only the front of the lot. Nobody can see the back, and the back has weeds as tall as me, which is only 1.5, right? So not crazy tall, but compared for weeds. So when I got home, I was kind of walking slow and everything because my back was bothering me. But my son said, I said, oh, can you take these bags out for me of trash? And he did. He said, Mom, why'd you do that? He said, don't do that again. Let me know. We can meet you up there. Me, my brother, my sister, my cousins, whatever, and we'll do the back. But I also knew the rains were coming, and I did not want everything to wash down and it to be a mess. So thank you, Marcus. I had to because I know my parents, and so I only got the front done. The back, but you cannot see the back because we're up on a hill and it goes very far back. So at least the front is done. Part of that is hopefully the neighboring homes, if they see that theirs need to be done, they'll call their gardeners or someone and get theirs done as well. But just to reiterate, people are thinking, and if you look at this picture again of the driveway by itself, the before and the after, right? I'd much rather see that, even without a home there, but the lot is improved, right? Because that was a nasty mess. And the funny part about it is, not funny part, but some of the pine needles and the cones were still charred. So that stuff had been there since the fire, even though the neighbor's gardener said he did something. So I remember showing the pictures to my mom, and she was like, oh my gosh, you did all that. That is what I expected it to look like after the gardener said he had gone. It wasn't their old gardener, but I said, no problem. But if you see on this one, like these bushes down here, the flowers, all that, all the way up the steps are just overgrown tremendously. It looks hideous, all of that stuff, just ridiculous. In where the plants are all the pine needles, some of them, like I said, still charred and everything. And so I just knew from my parents I needed to clean up, and that's the after from me cutting back everything and weed eating and, raking stuff away. And I think I got everything that was still charred or whatever is gone. So I understand somebody asking, like, can we report someone? But my thoughts are maybe contact your neighbor first and say, hey, do you plan on cleaning it or having a gardener or something? Or maybe even a block. We got to have all these block captains. Have a block party to clean the block on Saturday after the rains, and everybody kind of bring what they have or what they can bring. So whether it's a weed eater or, hedgers. I mean, I took all my stuff that I have here, but a lot of people lost equipment like that in the fire. So if you know somebody that still has it, maybe that's something that even we as a community can start to get together and say, hey, for these lots, some of these people were elderly. They can't go and clean their lot, right? Or we find some gardeners and do some kind of GoFundMe or raise funds as a block or whatever, or people pitch in so that the lots can be maintained. Those are just my thoughts on it. But yes, you can contact either 211, which is a general resource line for LA County residents to report nuisance properties, including the overgrown vegetation. Or you can contact LA Public Works. But again, if you report a neighbor as a nuisance because post-fire, the vegetation still looks like that, I would hope that because that is your neighbor, you would instead call them, try to reach out to them or something. So that is a question that was posed to Jamal. He asked me yesterday. I did some research and that is what I found out. Yes, you can either call Public Works or 211 and report a nuisance lot if you so choose.
Right, and I appreciate that, Toni. And and that's great if somebody wants to report that. The overall
Correct.
question was more of what's happening at the countywide level in terms of, are they enforcing anything like they were before? That was the overall question.
Yeah.
But should anyone want to pursue it further, then that's fine. But yeah, it was just more of, hey, what are the requirements for an individual at this particular point in time in terms of
Well, they are still
whereas
required.
before-
They are still required to maintain their lot, including the vegetation. Yes. But if the county's not going out searching to
I
say,
think
oh,
that's
this is
the part they really
overgrown,
wanted to know.
right,
Yeah.
and we're going to find them or we're going to tell them something. I think they're giving grace to people who have lost everything, that, yeah, we want you to maintain it, but we're not going to be on you. But if someone chooses to report their neighbor, yes, there are ways that you can. So that's that. The other thing that I think is really important to talk about, and I'm doing it now because I have to jump off for an appointment in about 20 or so minutes, but is the deeds. And I'm not talking about what we've heard, oh, your grandmother, it was in her name, it never transferred to your deed. I mean, to your name, right? We know that Senator Sasha Renee Perez, I think sponsored or co-sponsored that bill to make sure that people can add their name to the deed now. What I'm talking about, and it's because I met a lady, and I'm not gonna, give names or whatever today. I could, but I choose not to. But I met a lady when we were at when Allison did the thing at Victory Church a few weeks ago for the fire, Sonic Fire. And we were talking afterwards, and she said, hey, Toni, do you know, and maybe you could share this if you do know, and I told her I did not, but I would find out. But her and her neighbor across the street, and they live down near Elliott off of either Mendocino or somewhere in that vicinity. They have deeds that to this date in 2026 now have do not sell to colored, like what used to happen back in the day. Those are the deeds that had the racist language because of redlining and all that. And on the west side, I don't know how many there were or at all, but definitely in East Altadena and in Pasadena, lots of people had that on their deed, where you literally could not sell to a person of color, an African American, specifically back in the day, some Latinos, some, Indians or other people that have skin that has melanin in it. So I told her I would check, because she said, we don't know what to do. I said, oh, you could get that removed. And she said, how? So I told her that's what I would check, because I know you could get it removed. So in 2022, so almost 4 years ago, there's a new California law, which is Assembly Bill 1466. We'll probably put that in the chat just so people can look it up on their own if they'd like. But it made it possible, and it was signed into law, that you can void discriminatory language on your deed, or discriminatory covenants on your deed, if they are still there. So if you have your deed, or you have a friend or family member who has a deed that still has do not sell to colored or any other discriminatory covenant language on it, you can get that removed. So a step-by-step process is, and I'll put that out there too, but there's a step-by-step process. The first thing you're going to do is you want to get your deed. Hi, Camille. The first thing you want to do is request your official deed from the LA County Register Recorder's Office. You can do that on the recorder's website. You can do it, via mail, online, in person, whatever. But you want to request and get your official grant deed from the county. The second thing you do is you have to identify the language. So when you go down the deed, if you see in comments or notes section or wherever that is, if there is a discriminatory language covenant that says do not sell to colored or anything else that's discriminatory language, you want to highlight that phrase, right? And so you can highlight or underline it on the deed. And then there is a form that you fill out, which is called, it's an official form called the Restrictive Covenant Modification Form. That is also on the LA County Recorder's website. So you search, you find that, and then you're going to send the completed form and the marked up deed via mail or email, there's a website, and I'm gonna put all this on here in a minute, but rcm@rrcc.lacounty.gov, or you mail it or book an in-person appointment down in Norwalk, because that's where the headquarters is of the LA County Register Recorder. And then the county council will review it. They'll sign the form if the language is indeed unlawful, which is discriminatory language, and send it back to the recorder's office for the official recording and making the restriction void, and it will be removed from your deed. There is a cost. It cannot be any more than $2. That's part of that state law, so it might cost you $2, but you can most definitely get that restrictive covenant removed from your deed and have a deed that has your name on it or whatever. Without that, do not sell to color. So there were, like I said, a couple of people that one asked me, but she said her and her neighbor still have them. And there probably are several people that will be shocked when they look at their deed to see that restrictive covenant, if they do not know about the redlining and the restrictive covenants that were placed on properties back in, the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, when a lot of people of color purchased homes in Altadena. So if in fact you do have a deed that has a restrictive covenant on it, the steps to remove it, I'm going to place in the chat. And then we will also, and I will also give you the Assembly Bill number. Again, it is, here are the steps, and the California law, which is the Assembly Bill. I will note that as well. So if you need to look that up on your own, you can. Yeah, so that's about it. And I think that it's important that people know that information. If you have any questions about it, you can reach out to us or you can comment now. But it is pretty easy and straightforward. However, you can get legal help if you need to, and understanding your rights. You can consult with a real estate attorney. So I just put all of that in the chat for you all. But there are several people that don't know, and several that have seen it since the fires, that they had to get a copy of their deed because they had it at home and it was lost in the fire. And when they got the new copy of it, as part of, where you could go and request new documents at where the Eaton Fire Collaboratory is now, but it used to be the one-stop shop, and you could go talk to the county and Public Works and all that. People requested things like deeds, and they have noticed since they got their new deed that it has a restrictive covenant on it that says do not sell to colored, and they were flabbergasted. And so I wanted to address that today because I think it's very, very important that people understand what the process is if in fact you have received that. Oh, it broke it up. Sorry.
Yeah, sometimes it's too long.
Okay, I see what it did. It broke it up into two. It did the steps to remove it, but you can look in what we put, and then it continues. But again, I will just reiterate and tell you, California Assembly Bill 1466, which was passed in 2022, now allows people, hey Dan from Michigan, now allows individuals that have a restrictive covenant on their deed the ability to remove that. So again,
Dan's actually from Altadena. He just lives in Michigan now.
Yeah, I knew he meant chiming in from Michigan when he said from Michigan. That's why I was like, hey, Dan, in Michigan. I should have said in Michigan. But so the step one is get your deed from the LA County Register Recorder's Office. You can do that online. You can request it in person or whatever. Step two is identify the language. See where that restrictive covenant is on the deed, where it says whatever the discriminatory language is. Most of them say do not sell to colored. And then complete a form. You go back onto the website, the LA County Recorder's website. There is a form called the Restrictive Covenant Modification Form. You get that form, right there on the website. You fill that out, and then you email a copy of the deed that you have that you've either highlighted or underlined that restrictive language with the Restrictive Covenant Modification Form. Email that to the rcm@rrcc.lacounty.gov, or you can mail it in, or you can set up an in-person appointment. When you do that, they will have it, they will see everything, and then the review and recording comes from the recorder's office, but LA County Council will review it. They'll see where that is. They'll sign the form if the language is indeed lawful. If it says there's a restricted covenant that says do not sell to colored or anything like that. And then they'll send it back to the recorder's office. The recorder's office will officially record your deed without the restrictive covenant and that language on it. And then you will have a new deed. So if you found out that your deed has a restrictive covenant on it with discriminatory language because you needed to request a new one since the fires, you can absolutely get that removed and have a new deed that does not have that covenant on it from way back in the day. Two
things. Number one, that $2 is expensive. That's going to break the bank for sure. I'm not sure that too many people are going to take
Cash App for your $2.
Right. And number one, you mean to tell me you still are holding on to a deed from 80 years ago? Some people
don't even know it's on there. Yeah.
Wow.
And some people
when they reissue it, like say they reissue it, is it actually still on there or
no?
Say you didn't go and do all this and you have to get a duplicate.
Yeah, the deed is the deed. If you lost everything in the fire and you've requested a new deed and you get the deed and you've never had that restrictive covenant removed, then yes, it's still on there.
That's crazy. They should already take that off automatically.
So when the law changed in 2022, it became effective. Yes, it made the process possible to void the discriminatory covenants. But every county does not have a person that was sitting there able to go through every single deed to see if it was on it and to remove it. So
Right.
it put the onus on the homeowner, right? If you have that on your deed, now there is in 2022 effective. That's only 4 years ago.
Mhm.
Compared to, like you said, 80, 100 years, whatever, when that deed was issued, because most of them were issued to Caucasian individuals, and it said do not sell the color. That's part of how they did the redlining. And yes, some of them are still on there because, and the girl asked me, well, does your parents have it on their deed? I said, I don't believe so, but my parents also bought their home from an African-American woman. So if it was on there when she bought it, maybe I don't know. But even if they do have it or anyone else has it, and what I would say is people take a look at your deeds. If you lost that paperwork in the fire and you need to get another one, get it, and you go through the whole deed and see. And so if that restrictive covenant is on there, you can absolutely get it removed. If it's not, it either was never on there or it's been removed by somebody else. But the law wasn't until 2022. So if you owned it before 22, there's a likelihood it could be on there or it was never put on there. So yeah, that is the answer to that question that I was asked. How do you remove that language? And it is actually called a restrictive covenant. Restriction meaning don't, and that covenant was the other part, sell the colored, right? Because they did not want African Americans to buy in Pasadena and several parts of Altadena, right? This is where you may hear the east of lake debate, right? And people think, like we've talked about, Altadena, the east side versus the west side is west of lake. No, the east side begins at Fair Oaks, but I believe on some of the deeds that were east of lake is where those restrictive covenants were. I don't know if there were any on the west side or not, but I would just implore anyone, take a look at your deeds, see if that restrictive covenant is there that you didn't know about, especially if your home was passed down from, your mother through a grandparent or who knows who bought back in, 30, 40, 50, 60s. See if it's on there. And if it is, you absolutely can get that restrictive covenant removed altogether from your deed. And that's the process to do it. Any questions? Other than you talking about the $2 is too much and that it's unbelievable that those are still on there today. But when I met that young lady, she said, absolutely, theirs is still on there and they didn't know how to remove it. And then her neighbor across the street, his has one. And they're on around the Mendocino and Maiden Lane area. So I'm going to later today send her the link to this show because she didn't know how to do it or what to do. So now that I've gotten that answer for her, I will text her the link to today's show. So if there's anyone watching or anyone that you know that has a restrictive covenant on your deed, please, please, please give them this show today and they'll understand and know how to get that removed, because no one should have to have a deed, especially if you are a person of color, whether you're African American, Latino, Asian, Filipino, Native American, because again, the land that Altadena sits on is the Tongva tribe. It was originally their land, right? So anybody that has melanin in their skin that's considered of color, a person of color, if you have a deed that says that, get that mess removed, because I know you don't want it on there.
And on that note,
the more you know. Yep. Yeah, that was so perfectly timed.
As you were saying that, I said, you know what? This takes me back to my childhood when somebody gave some great advice and then they put that up afterwards. The more you know.
They've been putting those again over the last couple of weeks. I've seen the commercials and like John Legend's on one and different people, and then they do
really?
And I'm like, they're bringing the more you know back. Yeah.
And so did we.
Time. Thank you. So those are the two things that I really wanted to address today on the Toni Talk Show was the deeds, which is, I think, extremely important information to get out there to people. And the second one about the lot maintenance. Yes, we are still required to maintain our lots. However, let's show one another some grace, hopefully, right? I think the county is doing the same. They could go out and enforce it, but I don't think they're utilizing their manpower for that. But let's try to maintain our lots. And if you can't, like I said, maybe these block captains or people on the block can all get together and have a lot maintenance block party, right? I think that would be wonderful for people to be like, hey, I got some young kids, or whatever. We're gonna go do your lot and mine this Saturday, or whatever, right? If people can be neighborly and help one another clean up and clear their lots, I think that that's fabulous. And I got lots of the tools, and if I got to show up anywhere and help, I'm good with that. As long as I'm medicated and my back's not hurting. And if it is, I'll bring my medication to hopefully help that it doesn't.
Well, on that note, we're going to kick you off because we know you got the skedaddle.
Well, Daniel has a question. Dan, the man in Michigan, what is going on with the legal action towards Edison? So, Dan, I will just say this because I know this and I know the gentlemen do as well, but the trial date is January 2027. People are getting attorneys and others have applied for that offer that Edison has thrown out there. Some have accepted it. Others have realized that as part of the offer, and I think I mentioned this yesterday, they have a little provision in there, a little hidden part that says, if you accept that offer that they give you for like the quick payout, not only can you no longer sue for this fire, the Eaton fire, but any future fires either, which that part to me is wicked for real. Because if you are saying
future fires,
right, you're going to screw something up. So if you take this offer and we just gave you 450, 500, 700,000, whatever, you give away your right, obviously, to sue for the Edison fire. Also, your right for anything like, oh, my health is messed up. I found out 5 or 10 years later from the toxic stuff, I can't come back and claim health things and get any kind of payout or money towards health, if I got to go into the hospital or anything like that. That's number 2. Number 3 is you cannot even sue us for future fires. That is wicked as all get out. And so I do know though that information. And then the other part, Dan, is that the trial date is January of 2027, so a year from now. So they're going to try to get as many people as they can to accept this offer without people really going through knowing the fine-tooth, wicked little, scheme parts that they have, just so they can pay some people out, and it will be less of a burden on them from a lawsuit. It's very likely, you're right, Marcus, that's what I say. It's very, very likely that they will settle this just prior to the lawsuit, the trial date in January. And the reason I say that is that Bobcat fire that was in Azusa when I lived there, it was right at the top of where I lived in the mountain. That happened in 19 or 20. I think it was August 19 that the Bobcat fire happened. Right after the Eaton fire happened, about a week later, we had some public adjusters and all that come one night to our church at Victory. And those attorneys were the same ones that sued for the Bobcat fire. And they told us that the day prior, I think our town hall was on a Wednesday, they said that Edison settled the day before for $3 billion or something like that. And, or the day before they were supposed to go to court, they settled. Maybe they settled the day before our town hall and the court date was the next week. I think that's what it was. But they're going to wait till the last minute possible and say, okay, we're going to settle, right? Potentially. So that's what happened with the Bobcat fire. I do know that. And I would venture to say that it's very likely they'll do the same with Eaton, especially with the overwhelming evidence that they should have taken that tower down, yada, yada, yada. They likely caused this in conjunction with the wind event, right? And so they'll try to probably settle December next year or January 5th or something real stupid like that. But I do know the date is January 27, and that if you take that offer, make sure you look at every provision possible, because there is one in there that says you can not only not come back to say anything about your health or anything else. You take this offer, it's like what I've been saying, a CNR, compromise and release. Okay, boom, we're paying you this. Get out of our face. We're done with you. You can never come back, not only for that, but if there's a future fire and something happens, you have now given away your right to sue for anything in the future. Hopefully there's not anything, but should there be, that's what it is. So with that, I will say toodles. If y'all got any more information for Dan, give it. But you all have a wonderful day. Thank you for chiming in to listen to Toni running her mouth. Toni Talks.
Is that the new title, Toni running her mouth?
Toni Talks on those two particular things that I think are important, the lot maintenance and the deeds, changing your restricted covenant language on the deed. Okay?
Thank you, Toni, all knowing. And when I say that, I'm not joking. This woman will find the information for you and bring it.
All right.
And it's up to us to add liver into telling more.
Thank you, gentlemen. I'll see y'all later. Have a good day.
Take care.
Bye.
Okay, so now we don't have anything to talk about. She left. So
always a wealth of information from Toni. That's a beautiful thing.
So I'd like to welcome, before you get started on the announcements. Oh yeah, that one thing she posted was pretty long. Had to scroll back up. Thank you for joining Action Altadena. Pinche Hombre Nuevo. He joined Classic Ash. Alvarez Jr. 72. Mr. Mo. I can't say your name. You have to give me some phonetics to say that. Dai Umamdi Habibi has joined. I hope I said that right. Cooper Collier and Christine Barrios. Hey, Christine, how you doing? As you guys know, I will no longer be broadcasting on my Instagram, Brian Bacchus Brands. I'm taking it totally off of the map. Focus on Altadena Talks Instagram, because as of the Monday of this week coming up, I will no longer be on my Instagram. I will be channeling it through another Facebook page, because that's where majority of our audience is anyway. What's going on, E-Dub? Call me after the podcast today so we can talk about that project that you were calling me about the other day.
What's that, E-Dub? Hopefully you tuned in earlier, because Toni responded to one of the questions you asked me about the lots and overgrowth and all that kind of stuff.
And if you didn't, you can always watch it on the replay. So it's good for that. And you can look at the transcript too if you don't feel like watching. You can read that. Because a lot of people like to read. A lot of people. Now it's funny because on Instagram there's 5 different ways you can do stuff, right? You can post on a post. You can post a reel. You can post a story. You can go to threads. You can share it to Facebook. So a lot of people only come on and look at people's stories. That's their thing. A lot of people only look at the posts. Some people look at reels all day. I'm a reels guy. I like to see the reels. They're quick, easy. And some people just like to. They don't have an Instagram. So if you have a Facebook, and this is what I try to tell people. If you're trying to get something out there, it would behoove you to have all of the social media and link together so that when you post on one, it posts over here. So like when we won miraculously on Sunday night, I posted the video on Facebook. I didn't even know it went to Instagram because I forgot that I had it connected. Yeah. And so I was on Instagram. I said, 8,000 views. Where did that come from? I'm like, okay, let me get over here. But see, that's the surprise you get. And only use 2 hashtags, Steelers win and Steelers. That was it. Word travels fast when you're a fan of a football team. So I have to give that a shoot. It's now up to like 10 or 12,000 now. I don't know.
That was a heck of a game, though, too.
Even it really was. I mean,
of either team, if you watch that game, that was good football. And it literally came down to the last second.
Everybody has a video. And it's so funny because it's mostly kids like that were Ravens fans losing their minds because you missed the field goal.
Hey, it's still hard to believe he missed it. I don't care if he's a rookie or not.
Hey, I understand. They got rid of their veteran kicker last year because he missed 2 field goals in the game and they didn't, and they lost.
Mm-hmm.
We missed 2 field goals in the game, an extra kick and a field goal. Now, here's the thing. If you would have watched both of Boswell's kicks, they went wide right because there was wind. Now, the wind, you didn't see it down below, but it was like one of those winds that came down and scooped up. So every ball was going to the right. Even the one that thunked it on the pole, it was going in, but it veered to the right. You would have thought, and here's Lamar trying to run the last play to be on the other side of the hashtags when it didn't work out. I watched all of that.
Yeah, that was a good game.
I was watching every play over and over and over again just to make sure I had enough evidence to talk smack to the haters.
You always have enough.
11,200 views now. And you want to know the funny part? 99.1% of those views they're not following me. That's crazy.
Not surprised though. Steelers related. Come on, there are a ton of people going to watch that.
Right. Yeah, 9% of my following is like, or even watched it. Like, that's crazy. That was the most exciting thing Sunday night. You were doing nothing but waiting for this football game to end. That's what you were doing. That was good times, though. I had to show that video one of these days. He was going off. Mark was like, yes, he lost his voice. He couldn't talk the next day. I was laughing.
Very, very happy.
Yeah, we all were. I mean, we were sitting there on pins and needles trying to figure it out. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, again.
Christine, what I would suggest to you, she's asking about a good probate lawyer, is talk to some of the fire lawyers, or if you're signed up with a lawyer, talk to that lawyer because that could be something that he could give you a 2-for-1 on. So I would talk to either your fire lawyer that you're signed up with or a recommendation from a fire lawyer. Since they're in deep with this, they probably have somebody that they can refer you to. So, and I guess on that note, we'll be going ahead and moving forward with the announcements. Trying to break our own record this year. What was last year? 740 something?
Yeah, something along those lines.
We're going to break that record.
I started a new one today, so we'll see what happens. Here we go. Now, because of the time, I'm gonna jump beyond the county stuff. Those things are still going on. One-stop permits and permit place, as well as Altadena Community Center. So I'm gonna jump right here. Here's a program. It's called the Relief Fellowship Program. It's where, it's a paid 6-month opportunity for high schoolers and community college students that were affected by the fires. There's a lot of good information related to this. It's a paid internship, leadership opportunity, real influence in shaping the community recovery, hands-on experience in media advocacy, design, and public speaking, college and career ready skill development. And they just have to be high school juniors, seniors, or first or second year community college students. Must have been impacted by the Altadena fires and demonstrate passion for making a difference. If you're interested in getting more info on this program, please scan the QR code. You can get that good information. And then we have a program here also with Habitat for Humanity. Basically, if you know anyone, they're seeking retired builders, contractors, and skilled tradesmen who can volunteer their time and expertise to support the home rebuilding now underway. If you're available and know anyone, that has the skills for carpentry, framing, general construction, home repairs, or finishes, site support, and volunteer guidance, please reach out to San Gabriel Valley Habitat for Humanity, and they can actually, assist there. And then Project Passion, along with Harambe Ministries, is still providing the Freedom Store every Monday and Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Harambe is at 1609 Navarro Avenue in Pasadena. If you're interested in participating, you do have to schedule your time, and you can do so by scanning the QR code on the flyer or going to tinyurl.com/Harambe Freedom Store. They're going to have items such as toiletries, home essentials, and much more. And then Eaton Health Village is still providing a free medical and mental health clinic every Monday and Wednesday from 12 to 5 p.m. It's at 1280 East Washington Boulevard in Pasadena. They accept walk-ins, but you can also call at 951-595-7032 to ask questions or to schedule an appointment. And My Tribe Rise still has Adopt a Survivor matching fund drive going on, where they're trying to raise an additional $500,000 to reach their goal of $1 million in efforts to provide bridge funding for rent and mortgage coverage for up to 50 families. If you're interested in donating, please scan the QR code on the flyer and help out a family. And tomorrow, Juicy Little Finds thrift store is providing her We Out Here market at Fair Oaks Burger at 2560 North Fair Oaks Avenue in Altadena from 12 to 3. Remember, it's only for those who were in Altadena, so you got to bring your ID to prove that that's where you resided. And they have tons of different free things that are available: the farmers market, vegan hot meals, groceries, hygiene products, thrift store pop-up, legal advice, love and prayers, and much more. They do ask that you bring your own extra bags. Also tomorrow, the folks at Home of King and Queens are providing a free grocery pop-up market. It's going to be from 12 until supplies run out. And the location is Lifeline Fellowship Christian Center at 2556 North Lake Avenue in Altadena. There's also going to be 200 free hot meals provided by El Patron Restaurant and sponsored by Support and Feed. Please bring your own bag is one of the things that they're requesting that you do. Now, next is one of the many anniversary events that are taking place tomorrow, commemorating the fire and honoring the resilience of the people of Altadena. So there's going to be art, music, resources, and performances tomorrow from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. at John Muir High School, which is 1905 Lincoln Avenue in Pasadena. And again, it's celebrating the community's resilience. There will also be another event happening on tomorrow at 5 p.m. at the Grocery Outlet parking lot at 2270 Lake Avenue. And this is commemoration of the Eaton Fire, and it's sponsored by Community Coalition for Altadena Recovery. Also happening tomorrow, this will be from 6:30 to 8 p.m., is 1 year after the Eaton Fire, honoring Altadena. They're going to gather for those lost and for the love that still holds the folks from Altadena together. Join for a community-led night centered in remembrance, hope, advocacy, and collective work. It's at Fair Oaks Burger at 2560 Fair Oaks Avenue in Altadena, again from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Also tomorrow from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. will be an Altadena Fire 1 year anniversary live broadcast by KBLA Talk 1580. They're remembering those who were lost, celebrating the heroes and sheroes who answered the call and honor the resilience of neighbors who are determined to rebuild together. Join them live at Perry's Joint, which is going to be 2051 Lincoln Avenue in Pasadena, or you can listen to the broadcast at 1580 a.m. There's going to be another event happening on the 7th. It's going to be at the Collaboratory at 540 West Woodbury Road in Altadena. So come together as survivors to honor what was lost, name what this year has really been, and connect with one another. There's going to be a series of events things that are happening. So between 8:30 and 10:30, there's going to be a survivor-led press conference. And then at 10:30 onward, is going to be a survivors only commemoration. So after the press conference, non-survivors will be asked to leave, and survivors will remain together for a sacred space of remembrance and connection, guided by Pastor Amara Ananiwu. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Space is limited. Feel free to bring those you love. Location, again, is the Collaboratory. Now on the 8th, there's going to be another event. It's going to be put on by Planned Parenthood of Pasadena and San Gabriel Valley, along with the YWCA of San Gabriel Valley, Set for Life, and Eaton Fire Residents United for a reflective and forward-looking virtual webinar. It's going to be from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. And as indicated, it's virtual. And to get the Zoom link is bit.ly/Eaton Fire, which is one word and capitalized, -1 year, which also is one word and capitalized. There's a lot of things happening tomorrow and the next day.
Yes, sir.
Now, also happening on the 8th is a small business pop-up fair, Recovering Together. So join LA County Department of Economic Opportunity, the Office of Supervisor Catherine Barger, the Altadena Chamber of Commerce, and regional partners of the Small Business Pop-Up Fair Recovery Together. It's a community event and marketplace recognizing 1-year anniversary of the 2025 fires and the county's continued commitment to support the impacted businesses and workers. So it's taking place at Loma Alta Park, which is 3330 North Lincoln Avenue in Altadena, from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. For businesses and workers, there's going to be a business resource fair. So you'll be able to connect with the DOE's Office of Small Businesses and partners for one-on-one technical assistance and day of sign up to resources, support recovery and growth. That's going to include Shop Local LA County, gift card program, new capital grant program, and pro bono legal aid, financial subsidies to hire youth and staff, and more. And lastly, there'll be a small business marketplace. So made possible in partnership with the Altadena Chamber of Commerce, the marketplace will host 10 plus small local businesses showcasing local goods and services. They do ask that you register, and you do so by going to bit.ly/pop-up fair 2026, and all that is capitalized. Another event commemorating the anniversary of the fires will be on Saturday. It'll be from 11 to 4 at Harambe Ministries at 1609 Navarro Avenue in Pasadena. It's going to be a live band and entertainment, resource fair and community hub, free food, and a distribution center limited to Eaton Fire survivors. To register, you would go to bit.ly/ all in lowercase Dena-relief-drive-1-year. Also on the 10th, the rebuild and recovery workshops continue. This one will be from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Collaboratory at 540 West Woodbury Avenue. In order to register, you want to scan the QR code. If you have some questions, you can actually call 213-381-2862. They're going to be discussing interim housing and small business support, along with low-cost construction management, technical support to select a general contractor or architect, mission-driven real estate services, along with estate planning legal services at no charge. Also on Saturday is a 1-year event put on by Not EV plus Altadena Cars and Coffee. It's going to take place at 749 East Altadena Drive from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. This is where they normally go, where you can actually see all the cars that they want to show off. It's going to be a raffle for Trader Joe's gift cards, Nancy's Greek Cafe, as well as Rodney's Ribs, plus a lot more. This is also going to be a fundraiser for Hippo, so he can restore his 810 Nissan. Also on Saturday, there's an Altadena Rebuild Expo.
But wait, there's more.
It's a free rebuilding support for fire impacted homeowners. It'll be from 11 to 7:15 at 409 Woodbury Road or Avenue in Altadena. There will be an after party from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And to get more information, scan the QR code as well as to RSVP. Now, on Sunday, there will be the Altadena Candlelight Vigil. This was rescheduled to this date. It's going to be at the Altadena Town and Country Club at 2290 Country Club Drive in Altadena. There's going to be quite a bit of things happening there. To begin with, there'll be some hot beverages and what have you beginning around 6:30, along with the opening ceremony at 7, which is going to feature a children's choir, along with the Ben family and community speakers. And then at 8 p.m., the event will there'll be event closing remarks as well as the departure. This is going to be hosted by Greg Mack, who is the MC for 94.7 The Waves morning show. There's going to be a lot of parking around the country club. However, there will also be a shuttle bus to the vigil at Lake and Mendocino, and the loading will take place between 6:15 and 6:55. I want to share this as well. There is going to be an official premiere of the Beneath the Ashes, the Past Reimagined. It's a documentary film produced by Brandon Lamar, directed by Rag Yadalian. It's going to take place on Sunday, February 1st at Agbu Cultural Center at 24995 East Mountain Street in Pasadena. The doors are going to open at 4:30 with the screening beginning at 5. But they do ask that you scan the QR code to RSVP. I would imagine this is going to be limited space, so I want to start showing this early so people could actually, get a view of it and potentially register early.
Jamal, isn't that the place where you take your daughters to play volleyball?
It might
right
be.
There on Mountain and
Altadena Drive.
Yeah.
It very well may be.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name. But yeah, we did go there a couple times for some games.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So that's Flyers for today, man. A lot
Look
going
at that.
on.
We're like right under an hour. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to keep this bad boy rolling, keep you occupied and entertained with information that is informative. All we need is that music in the background. Dun, 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 dun.
That's right.
Hi, I'm Brian Bacchus, and you're not.
That is so weird that covenant, that restricted covenant is still in the deeds. I guess I'm not that surprised because they were there for so long ago, and most people don't change
how many
it.
thousands of homes?
Yeah, exactly. But it's just a damn shame that they were even there in the first place.
I would frame that.
Yeah.
And then ask for an updated one, but I would frame that one. This is how far we've come. Yeah. And it's a shame that we even have to think this way, because for Altadena to be so diverse and to have that kind of covenant still on your deed, how did the Black community or the Hispanic community or anybody other than the white community be able to buy anything? I mean, was it a sneak attack? Did you get a white person to buy it for you? And then when you came home for the first 6 months, you drove all the way up in the driveway and came in through the back door? Did you have full tinted windows on your car?
Sometimes they did that, yeah. Sometimes they did that. In fact, I know somebody that actually had to do that. His father had to do something to that effect in order to buy a property.
I know a few that did that for appraisals.
They had a white person come up as their representative and they did the full transaction for them, and then they moved in, and the people lost their mind because they, didn't realize, what was happening. But hey, it was all legal. It was done, and there was nothing they could do about it after that. And it turned out to be fine in the long run. But I mean, people had their perspective on what they assumed was going to happen, and folks that didn't look like them moved in, to their neighborhood. And
I couldn't imagine that growing up the way I grew up with every diversity. I mean, we pretty much had every race in our town.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. I came from Ohio. It was just black and white. The only Asian person I ever known was Bruce Lee and Hop Sing.
Oh, wow.
These are from TV shows,
Right.
Bonanza and karate movies.
Mm-hmm.
Only saw Hispanics on Westerns.
Mm.
I didn't see. So when I got out here, I was like, wow, you're different. You're different. You're different. Let's be friends. That's exactly my mentality.
Right.
It was cool. I go over their houses, everybody like, oh, hey, there's Brian, that nice, polite kid that comes over and helps you take out the trash, makes your kid look bad. That was me, because I wanted to eat. I'm just going to tell you right now. So if I made sure I walked in, hey, Miss Martinez, you need the trash taken out? Oh, Brian, of course. Go ahead. Martin, why aren't you like Brian? Why don't you keep me? They be telling me after I leave, hey, man, don't come over here and take my trash out.
Yeah.
Hey, man, my bad. I didn't know it was going to make you look bad. I was just trying to make sure I'm going to get a meal. You don't work, you don't eat, brother.
Right.
That's how it was in my house, at least. But, I mean, we are on 1 hour and 1 minute. We are not trying to do all that. So thank you very much, everyone. We are trying to keep this cordial in 2026 and to the point that we don't like to waste people's time. And we also like you to be able to watch the show fully. So on that note, Jamal, if you have any last words?
Just as usual, everybody have a wonderful day and tune in tomorrow. We look forward to having you. And with that, peace.